Oh, like 7:49ish, something like that. 48.
I got a few minutes before I start my wonderful day here.
Yes, it's been a week, and this truck is still here. Excuse me. Tame cough.
I think it's the pollen or whatever.
Anyhow,
Didn't really start on it till Tuesday of last week. There was a bunch of other appointments Monday, so these tables were full of a lot more parts then. Because Monday afternoon, probably the last half hour, I unpacked a bunch of it and laid it out on these tables and started sorting through some of it. And anyhow, yeah, we got some of it done. Let me show you. The cap is on.
okay,
And the cap
has
automatic lights when you open the doors.
uh,
Come around back here.
oh, and there's
Our now that's some interior panels I have out for a reason. But it got the decked system, which is a storage system with drawers for storage of
whatever gear the fire chief is going to need here.
It comes with toolboxes that are removable. Pretty nice system. It also has this decked brand bed slide.
This
Comes out like so. It can come out a little bit further, I believe. Let's see.
Nope, that's it. It stopped out there.
But yeah, that's so they can put gear up on there. Now, up in the corner there, see if we can zoom in on it. Those two boxes there are junction boxes for some of the wiring. What this cap is going to have, unfortunately, some of the lights that we were expecting that are supposed to be on the table were not shipped. So we're waiting for them. There's going to be LEDs hanging in the door jamb. So when the door is opened, you can still see some of the flashing lights. And there's also going to be some above the door.
Let me get this. Sorry for the
Shaky camera. There's going to be, let's pan back. There'll be LEDs up top. There's going to be some down below in the bumper in those little corners. And there's going to be flashing LEDs like up there and up there. And what they are,
And there's also going to be some down below. There's going to be running boards,
and on the mounts to the running boards, there's going to be the LEDs. And the LEDs, when you look at them,
they look a lot like these.
Right here. Those are two colors.
They're red and white.
And they got 5 wires, and some of the wires are to sync them together. But there's 2 main power. There's one for the red, one for the white. The white's the predominant color. If you power them both up at the same time, the white takes over and it's the only one that's on. And they have patterns, flash patterns, of how they flash, how fast, how slow. They could also be steady. What you do is you take the programming wire and you tap it to a positive as you have either one powered up, and it goes through all the patterns. And ironically, there's 69. I know, great number. Pattern number 69 is steady. So what I have to do, all these lights, is for the grill. There's going to be one in each corner here too when they come in. However, they got to be programmed. Normally, what you do is you program them to the pattern you want. You can put them on a toggle switch. You flip the switch, and they do whatever you want. However, this is getting the whole control panel. So what is done in this case, I found out, these all get programmed steady. Then you go inside here.
Let me show you some of this.
In fact, hold on. Okay, turn the light on because I'm going to need it. This is the console that I had to put in, this big metal console. It's going to have a thing for like a little laptop iPad thing right here. This pole gets mounted in here and sticks up, and it gets a little base put on it. It's got cup holders. It's got 12-volt ports. You don't want to see me. It gets 12-volt ports. You know, they go something like that. There's some USB charging ports. However, this thing here, this is called the core. The core is what's going to make those lights flash. Now, unfortunately, also when I do LEDs in the other vehicles, I just tie them all together and run the wires in here and have one toggle switch. Sometimes two if they want them separated front and rear. This, however, has an output for each of those lights. And each of those lights need two outputs because you have the red and the white. So this has up to 20 some outputs, and there's modules in the back in those black boxes that are called expansion modules. They basically tie into this and give you more outputs. So in other words, like for example, let's see if I can find it here. Okay, this cable here has 8 wires. I marked down which ones are which. This is coming from the grill alone. So there's the red and the white for the upper left, the upper right, the lower left, and the lower right. So they got to go into these wires here. And the back is done through a computer wire, called communication or LAN wire, just like 3 conductor, a shield and 2 conductors. It goes to the back to those modules. That's what's going to run the rear lights and the ones down here and so on. And what you do is, once it's all hooked up, there's also siren wire coming up here. There's all kinds of power wires. Once this is all hooked up, powered up, it has computer wires, USBs. It gets hooked to a laptop. You go into a special, I got to download, of course, the program into my computer, and I assign and teach each of the outputs individually what their job is. So when the control panel, which I don't think I have the control panel in here, I may not. There's a little control panel that all this gets hooked to that sits up here. I don't think I have it in the truck. Do I? No, it's probably not in here. However, yeah, these are cables from the rear, LAN wires. Oh, it's a nightmare. I did not think there was that much involved in this until I started getting involved in it. I think the boss man bit off more than we could chew here. However, this is the control panel. Okay, so I'm going to tell that computer to tell each wire what to do when you press these different buttons. Now they have these little things you put over them. You cut these off and you stick them here, and they give you little clear covers, and you assign these whatever you want them to be. And there's what's called scenes. That's why this has different positions. Each scene does a different light pattern or siren pattern or whatever. You got things to control the sirens. Any of these buttons could be assigned to do different things. So once that computer is hooked up and all the lights and the siren and all that happy horse crap, I got to go in there and teach it what to do. And it's got 1,000 different things it does. It ties into the vehicle's computer, the LAN system or CAN system, whatever you want to call it. And what that does, if you ever watch some of those police shows, sometimes you know when the cops get there to a scene, sometimes they don't all shut their sirens off. And there's lights flashing, sirens, dogs barking, people yelling and screaming. You can't hear yourself think. Well, this has a program to where, you know, the siren will be going, but once they get to the scene and put it in park, the siren shuts off. So you don't have to hear that. They don't have to remember to shut the siren off. It can also change the light pattern once they're at the scene. Rather than what's called the approach, and all them lights are going. If you've seen those shows, you know it's blinding when all them lights are going at once. You get there, you throw it in park, the siren stops and some of the lights cut out or they dim. And they also have what's called a slow flash. They're going to kind of do this. Full intensity, dim. You know, it's going to kill some of them or dim some of them. It's unbelievable the various programmings you can do. When you hit that simulated air horn button, because it'll also automatically, when the sirens are on, the horn button on the steering wheel will no longer honk the horn. It'll make that that simulated air horn, or it'll change siren patterns depending on how it's programmed and how it's pressed and how that is set, since there's different scenes. It's really quite complicated, and it's going to be like, once I have this all wired and installed, it's probably going to be just a day of just programming the damn thing. And of course, I think at some point I'm going to have to get with the fire chief and find out what does he want. You know, what do you want to do? What don't you want to do? I mean, luckily, I could put a long USB cable, leave it at the back of that console, and it could be changed or reprogrammed at any time. Oh, there's also lights. Now, I didn't do all this work. My partner in crime here, Tom, did some of this. There's the lights above the windshield. Those, they only have a few wires, even though they got many lights within each of them. So, but they're LAN wires. So they're computer controlled through that module. So I assume, you know, you could change their patterns, their colors, and what they do. But one of the things they want here is a thing where you hit the one button and every last light on here becomes a steady white light for like working. If they have to work at a scene, they don't need flashing lights. They can hit a button and all these turn clear white. So yeah, that's, you know, all the little programming I'm going to have to do. I'm not doing the radio though, even though the radio is being dropped off here later today, because I got to see the size of the radio. Excuse me. Because I got to know where I'm going to fit all this in here. There's a mounting plate in the front of the console, and you could also mount stuff to the floor. But I need to know how big or small the radio unit is, how many cables it has, because I got to get them fed through here. That's inside. I made some holes in the front of the plastic. I should have probably done all that before I put this big metal console in here. Not that I can't still take these bolts out and slide it back. I managed to fish many a wire and cable, but I think to do the radio, you have to be licensed and you have to tune it and all that crap, and we don't have the gear here to do that. But the radio does go into this because there's the option of speakers here, which they didn't give us, and that way they can hear radio calls from the outside of the vehicle through the siren speaker and all that. And that's something that we're probably not doing, but I'm just going to lay it in there and at least figure out where shit goes. Then I know where that can go and how long to run my wires and all that good crap. But yeah, I'm going to have to lay on my side back here up on top of that platform that I showed you and slide this back and lay across the tracks there. Now, all the wires back here. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't just chain them together. I have to run 2 wires down to that for each light that's back here, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And multiply that 2 wires per light. Plus the lights that come up out of the bumpers. And I got to somehow, either get wires of various colors, or I got to mark each wire so I know which light's which and run them all to there and hook them up to the outputs there. And I got to, of course, write it down, what colors, wires are which one's which light, and which one's being assigned to which output. So it should be fun. It should bend my brain. The ground wire is the only common wire that I get to run around the perimeter for everything. Everything else, got to be individualized. I am going to contact. We're supposed to have a rep from the company that makes the lights in the control box coming in. Hopefully, I can tie some of them together. It says the outputs are limited to a certain amount of amperage on the outputs, but they're only LEDs. I can't see them drawing that much. But the fuse ratings on the LEDs is right at the output level that you're supposed to max out at. So I'm like, oh, come on, really? I got to run everyone individually. I want to tie some of them together. Seriously. I mean, you don't need every light individual. But yeah, like I said, it can do all kinds of crap. If the vehicle, which this one does not, has LED lighting, like here, and the tail lights and then the marker lights, going through that LAN bus computer crap, that control module will also flash some of those, which on this vehicle it won't be able to without LED lights there. But what it can do, you could assign it like some of the like the white lights that are going to be down here. I could assign it on some vehicles. I'm not sure if this truck will do it, but when you open the door, those two will come on to light the running boards. The options are almost limitless. Limitless. Depending on vehicle, of course, though. The computer in the vehicle has to have the capability to talk to that one to do some of this. This is a 2023, but again, it has limited options. It doesn't have the LED lighting. Yeah, it's got regular incandescent up here. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Like when you honk the horn, these can flash white. Like whenever you hit that air horn, that these will flash white with it. I was watching a couple videos on it and like some of the options, and the guy was going over what it can do. So yeah, it's quite cool. So that's my fun for the day. And of course, it wouldn't be a day if I didn't bring a little bit of this to work to play with. So, but unfortunately, it's after starting time here, so I should get my butt moving on working. And maybe on lunch hour, I'll do a little more on that. But I got the cowl done. I removed the wipers and opened up some holes where they would be. That, of course, all has to get weathered and washed and all that. But hey, that's it. So here goes my day. But there's other things on the schedule today too besides this. So this is probably going to get pulled forward. The forklift comes out of the rack because in the rack is going a vehicle that's getting a hitch and wiring. There's a couple other small things on the schedule today. But last Monday, as every Monday, I work by myself back here. Tom does not work on Mondays. So I may not even touch this too much today. I don't know. Besides, like I said, we're waiting for those lights to come in. There's a module here that ties into the computer. However, 2023 is different than 2022, which the fire department told us this is a 2022. It's a 23. And the module doesn't plug in. It's a different pin configuration and different size plug under the seat. So now I got to find out if I could find out which color and location of the wires to tie into that. Otherwise, I got to hardwire some of that crap. Yeah, there's still quite a bit to go into it, but most of it's installed. I mean, both these tables were packed with parts. And as you can see now, they're down. But we're waiting for lights to come in and the radio to get dropped off. So, hey, but look, it's already been 18 minutes. I can't believe I spent that much time talking to you about this. But hey, I wanted you to do a little catch-up video on this. And if I get more done this week on it, I'll definitely do more. You'll get to see the lights and hear the sirens and all that good crap. So, hey, everybody have a good day. I'm going to get my butt moving and get to work. So, like, comment, whatever, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, and talk to you later.